Emperor...
Ha! Another clean strike.
Lord Captain.
It is wise for a rogue trader to have caches where they can safely store important information. And utterly unwise.
I'm afraid I do not know how to find the caches, but I can offer some help. Your predecessor used this numeric code to deactivate certain defense systems in her service. If I know Lady Theodora as well as I think, then I'm quite certain that she left her caches well guarded. In that case, this code will be useful. Lord Captain. As you wish, Lord Captain. It was a difficult choice for me. But you could... The Navis Imperialis is an ancient institution with its own mandates and must... What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings or unsanctioned relations are utterly baseless and bordering on the insulting. Utterly baseless. I am a widower. I am a father of 4. And if my... Of course. I thank you for the honor, but I must decline. As a former... Lord Captain.
You have my complete attention. Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. Indeed. You can't really be expecting me to answer that question. The first step for biomancers such as myself. Gladly. Of course not. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other I had never even considered such a thing before you asked. Perhaps I do. Sometimes. We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call. Such as? The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain? Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut, if it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. If they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have. It was just my nerves playing up. Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch. After that conversation, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door, what I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? I saw several roads, and if I knew, I would have told you. Hearing things clearly requires cooperation from the other person, you know. But that cobra just hisses and spits its venom at me. I don't trust her one bit. Oh yeah, you go ahead and tell her the wicked Psyker has divined something about her. She'll be so pleased and grateful, and of course she'll listen to what you have to say. No, that would be pointless. And anyway, I'm not even sure what it all means. Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like... It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win, from poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me. But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead, in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention. It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door... Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability... There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me, for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time. Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were... As I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered the guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so, a few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can. After some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. Of course, Lord Captain. Lord Captain, forgive me. But it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors. I could spend hours explaining. Every Psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side. When I need to use it for work, I listen in more closely. Training, habit, and a little Amasec and a couple other things you can get on the lower decks. If you put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than listening to the living, anyhow. Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right? But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust me. Only losers who are afraid of their own gift lose control. Or idiots who never figure out what they are before it's too late. Or little kids who want to play around with their shiny new toy. If you don't know the limits of your abilities, or you're always bouncing around in your own head, that's a recipe for the... All right. That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you. All right, let's hear what they're whispering about you. An ancient world with a riven heart. Find the path to it, and its riches will be yours. But paths there are two, and both will cloak you in disgrace, and neither is what it seems. What will you choose, rogue trader? The fall of the Empyrean, or in the cradle of your ancestors, a black dragon hungers, cunning and spitting venom. Many paths lead from home, but only one leads back to it, black and full of sorrow. When you start along the path, make haste. Make haste. Another road. The road begins at the threshold of the expanse and leads to the bowels of the emerging world. Reading the threads of fate is not meant for you, slave of the enthroned corpse. Step into the embrace of doom, for thus was it preordained by the architect of fates. That wasn't me! I swear on everything that's holy! I don't know what the second road is or who watches over it, but I beg you, stay away from it! All right. Let's hear what they're I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now... None of the officers knew the Lord Captain well. Not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off that if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear. The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices. Ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head. Me? Not a clue, Lord Captain. I don't know who Lady Theodora would have told about a thing like that, but it definitely wasn't me. Why would you whisper that to me now? Why? Lord Captain, I don't know anything about caches or Lady Theodora's secrets, but the voices have just reminded me about something. I was once given the chance to try some real wine. Lady Theodora gave me some. Not just any old synthetic booze, but her favorite plonk. She always drank it in her palace. It was golden in color, and its name was Flame of Purity. A silly name, but the flavor was so intense, and like nothing I'd ever tasted before or since. Apologies. It's probably not important, but I don't know anything more than that. You bet I do, Lord Captain. Okay, so we went to Footfall once. Well, I mean, Lord Captain Theodora went to Footfall a lot. But on that occasion, she took me with her for some reason. My day had gotten off to a bad start. My head had been yammering since I woke up, but there was nothing else for it. I had to go. We arrived at the place, and what a place! All the gentlemen and ladies dressed to kill, showing off their encrusted implants, all clustered around little tables. Well, turned out it was a gaming den. And not just any gaming den, but one run by somebody with deep pockets for people with just as much cash to splash. You should have seen it. People gambling away planets in a game of regicide. Anyway, so the Lord Captain wanted me to help her beat some guy. So I tell her, the chips won't land in your favor. You'll get a bad hand. Don't sit down at that table, your ladyship. But did she listen? Of course she didn't. If there's one thing she never lacked, it's stubbornness. So they sat down and the cards were dealt. I'm hovering around like I'm not involved, but I'm keeping my eye on things. And everything in my head keeps getting louder and louder. Anyway, it's a good thing I realized in time that my mind wasn't going haywire over a losing hand, but something else. I made some excuse to drag the Lord Captain up from the table and took her away from that place. And a few minutes later, the room where we'd been... It turned out some wise guy had the same bright idea to bring a pet psyker along with him. One of those ones who just scuttle around in Footfall's underbelly. And the psyker just freaked out, I guess. After all the commotion, people went to see what happened in the room. And they'd all gone for each other's throats. Literally. With teeth. And I think they completely detached that asteroid from Footfall and pushed it off into open space so it would head off toward the local star. Of course. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now... Of course. Always at your side.
May the Exalted One protect you. Have you grown bored without... No truer words have ever been said. I'm far more exciting than some small-time peddlers from Footfall. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Jai Amira Fatqin Tamiri Ash Ifrit, the 12th daughter of the Lord of Ifrit, a distant world at the fringes of the Imperium. The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in the family's political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become and which path to follow. When I learned the Exalted One watches over hundreds of other worlds amidst distant stars, I understood there was an entire world of opportunities beyond Ifrit. All I had to do was break the familial bonds tying me down and escape the planet. Which I did a long time ago. The Keronis Expanse. A gorgeous name, isn't it? But this backwater wasn't my original destination when I escaped Sherin. Oh no, it was the rumors of incredible freedom that brought me to the Keronis Expanse. Freedom that is generously bestowed upon everyone who can survive in these parts. All doors are open here. You can become a saint, a mogul, a kingmaker, or anyone you like, really. Here, hard work pays off, unless you're used to lying by the roadside and complaining instead of toiling for the good of your soul, glory, wallet, or whatever floats your boat. I'm used to working hard, and so I found my blessing. I convinced my father I personally wished to oversee the inspection of imported goods. I had to get experience so I wouldn't bring shame on our family, didn't I? I made friends with traders, missionaries, and soldiers at the port. I listened to their stories, studied the charts, learned what documents I had to forge to escape the planet. A kind word here, a shiny coin there. And here I am, in the iron belly of a ship, braving the void in search of a new life. Consider it a mark of my trade. This year, Xenos. Dumb-headed orcs. Who knew that we weren't the only ones to get tempted by the wreck of that raider? As for this treasure, I received it as a reward for a life that had been just a little too good. I was in a hurry to get to the Adeptus Amasacus after the Exalted One blessed me with immense wealth. I was 2 backstreets away from the den when a pathetic ashmag attacked me, envious of somebody else's fortune. All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too. The dark side is the real Keronis Expanse, if you ask me. But what do you want to know about it, Shireen? Dynasty heirs drink with criminals. Rogue traders strike deals with the Casbalica. And dozens of ships stop off for a welcome break from a long voyage. Is there a more beautiful place in the entire Imperium? The Emperor is merciful to the meek and the powerful alike. There's a job for everyone as long as they have a head on their shoulders. And if you feel like talking to him in person, the statue of the Exalted One can be seen from any asteroid. You can pray to your heart's content. An ancient crime cartel that originated with the first settlers of the Calixis sector. It is run by shadowy clans with robber barons at the helm. Cross their path, and you risk making enemies all over the Keronis Expanse, or even the entire Imperium. As for the agents, they are just shameless, greedy scum. Every third person on footfall is a Kasbalican. But that doesn't mean all that rotten filth is acting together. I've been set up more than once just so some Kasbalican can get one over on his rivals. And yet, the Kasbalika is generous to its customers, if you can afford it. Anything can be obtained, organized, and transported for the right price. The customer is always right, unless they happen to be a rat. In which case... What gave you such an outrageous idea? Was it my immaculate garment? My gorgeous jewelry? Do not worry, Shireen. I will let you know once I become a baroness, should the Exalted One will it. Just imagine the strong and fruitful alliance that could be forged between a rogue trader and a mastermind of the Kasbalika. It's not hard to do on footfall. I spent a year working for good old Christo. He was a brave soldier who gave up the ghost in a scuffle with orcs, and then took over his business. Having a good head on your shoulders and keeping the Exalted One in your heart helps to establish new contacts quickly. Eventually, I gathered together a group of honest and loyal people, and it only took a few successful contracts for the Kasbalika to take notice. I quickly settled on footfall and started dispensing my wisdom to my protégés and subordinates. I lost the taste for getting my hands dirty. It really is simple, Shireen. The Kasbalika runs the Imperium's black market, offering special goods to those who can afford their services. Yes, I am talking about Xeno artifacts too. Alien weapons, technology, sometimes even certain kinds of living creatures. Unlike the rogue traders whose sacred warrants make them immune even from the laws of the Exalted One, Kasbalikan agents are used to hiding and covering their tracks. Nobody wants to draw unwanted attention, no matter who might take an interest. Especially now that the Coronis Expanse has a warrior of the Golden Throne as its watchman. Why not? The decision is yours, Shireen. Listen, Shireen, the giver of happiness and the dearest of my friends. I am who I am. A cold trader, a Kasbalikan agent, and your partner. We each have a past, and that past is sealed. I'm not prying into your soul, am I? Well, have pity on mine. It has already been gnawed at by the Aji. And if you don't like the sound of that, we'll just go our separate ways. Deal? All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business. My trade means knowing the right people and non-people. Having the right connections and making sure the precious goods find their way into the hands of my no less precious customers. My wisdom includes the knowledge of the enemies of humankind, be they Xenos or the lowest scum in the Imperium, as well as the latest knowledge about how much they charge for any particular curio at the footfall market. Not even the most cunning Aji will deceive you as long as I am with you, Shireen. I promise you that. Whatever I have can be yours too, if your unfathomable wealth isn't enough for you already, I mean. It has been known to happen. After years of dealing with Xenos, I've learned their customs, and even got a grasp of their language. Except they cringe whenever I start speaking. Arrogant sods. They dislike even our voices, but they never turn away our valuables. Then again, I'm used to seeing sour faces. In this trade, the easily offended go out of business. I have no doubt you will have to deal with Xenos sooner or later. When that time comes, Shireen, you will thank the Exalted One for sending me to stand at your side. Thank you, Shireen. Being able to read and write is chief among them. You may not be aware, but this science is beyond the abilities of billions of the Imperium subjects. And yet they happily keep drudging along in their factories, fundi, and assembly lines. Me? I didn't escape Ifrit to consign myself to such misery. It was literacy that paved my path to copied orders, forged signatures, counterfeited papers. The wonderful things that make the wheels of bureaucracy turn in the right direction. Compared to the rabble on footfall, perhaps. Compared to you. Be it power or money, I still have a long way to go. I could purchase one of Footfall's asteroids, but not a planet. I could subjugate a few gangs from the shady districts, but not Vladium. And so the answer to your question is no. I do not consider myself rich. I am not rich enough. You're fun to talk. I grew tired of scribing endless contracts and agreements neatly tucked away on Footfall. Well, I did that for how many years? But here, among the stars, you are always balanced on a knife edge. Nothing thrills me more than the tension of a warp jump, or the danger that lurks around every corner on a planet. Footfall was beginning to make me fat and stupid, Shireen. I do not want that. Do I trust the Trickster twins? By the Exalted One, no. The underhanded rogues of Footfall came up with that name for a reason. The tricks of those frenzied ashmags are all about things far more intriguing than the honest and law-abiding subjects of the Imperium can imagine. On the other hand, this is why I am keeping them close. Kor and Tora know who lifted them out of the cesspit proudly called the Shadow Quarters, and who has been feeding that ravenous beast their insatiable lust for lucre. No, they are not going to betray me if only because they know I am now a part of your entourage, Shireen. They're not going to let the biggest pie in the Imperium pass them by without trying to get a slice for themselves. Vicious, cruel, dangerous beasts. Humans hold little interest for Xenos. We are entertainment for them, a means to keep boredom at bay. A commodity. But some of them contact us once in a while using their own people. Do not deceive yourself by thinking you are safe because there are no Xenos in sight. Those Agi are as cunning as they are ruthless. They cleverly pull at the strings of spies and traitors, subjugate those who do not fall for the promised reward, transform the ones who resist their promises into soulless puppets. The Emperor watches over me, and that is why I still haven't succumbed to the fate of many of my associates who have lost their lives to the stringy scoundrels. I think we've said all there is to say on this topic. The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip. All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business. It is difficult not to be aware of the powers that be, especially ones like Lord Captain Theodora. But we never met personally, as the difference between our positions was far too great. Theodora was a mighty ruler, the center of her own universe. And I, a pathetic commoner, was nothing next to her. But you were kind to me, Shireen. And in my eyes, that puts you above your esteemed aunt, or whoever she was to you. Or lucky lady, you mean? My heart has been coveted by proud men with hard eyes, gentle maidens with sensual voices, imperious lords and fierce leaders of void brigands. Only rogue traders have not yet featured among Jai Hedari's intimate friends. Why do you ask, Shireen? Oh, you ruthless, cruel creature. Would you really kill a person purely out of jealousy? Or 2 or 3 people? Rogue traders are a fearsome breed. My heart trembles to witness it. How fortunate then that you will not have to spill the blood of any lovesick innocent, for none has any rightful claim on me. They all languish in their passion at a respectful distance, mourning and cursing their cruel fate. If you are not simply amusing yourself by toying with my feelings, then why not give it a try? Go on. Or wait, you haven't yet asked how I feel about being your romantic partner. Ask soon, Shireen. Can go to the Aji. Say no more, Shireen. I have no doubt that you are a wonderful conversationalist, Shireen. I will make a note of your invitation and make sure to take you up on it when I next get hungry. But if the feelings in your soul have become a fire that is burning you up from within, then you may express them by bestowing a gift upon your humble servant. Argenta? What could be more beautiful than the sight of a sister of battle, whose mere presence casts light in the dark corners of lost souls such as mine? But alas, what remains of my sanity is telling me that poor Jai can only admire the radiance of this angel, forsaking any hope of ever touching her wings. The language on Ifrit, my home world, is quite different from the one spoken in the Coronis Expanse. We bestow more than one meaning upon each word, allowing our wise men to fully express their sagacious thoughts, and us lowly commoners our base passions and desire. Take Aji, for example. That is what I call every piece of scum and villain, because Aji means evil and foe and pathetic worm unworthy of consideration. Or take Ashmag. It means fool and little brother, and blind man who stumbled and would fall into a pit without guidance. Shireen means friend and comrade and roommate. Is there a sweeter subject in the universe to discuss, Shireen? You have my full attention. Ask the rose if it likes to receive the kisses of the sun every morning. Ask the sand dune if it likes to feel the caressing and playful touch of the wind. Ask and hear my answer, Sherry. Hush, Sherry. Let's not scare off the wonderful feeling that weaves a pattern of passion between us in silken thread. Soon. Then let us both be silent together about this beautiful feeling, Sherry. Oh, I have no doubt you will.
Curiosity sings in my veins. One step at a time.
Damn it!
Amidst the madness.
Just bad luck.
They will see. Oh, yes, they all will see. Patience? My nerves are frayed.
My pleasure.
There will be no peace in my wake. Curiosity sings in my veins. In this tapestry of a world,
As it should be.
I am the rogue thread.
You interrupted my thoughts. Choose your own path. What is it? I align my path with yours.
One step at a
For now.
time, amidst the madness. Oh, what curiosity unveils itself before me!
State your intention.
Color the
Speak,
arc.
Elanta.
I guide humanity between the stars.
What lies beyond? They will see. Oh, yes, they all will see. Curiosity sings in my veins. There will be no peace in my wake. In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread. Oh, what lies beyond?
One and it's done. Must be my smuggler's instincts.
Let us!
The Emperor sets my path. Pay attention. I better myself through my service. Never doubt me. Onward. When the faithful are idle, heresy grows.
They will see. Oh, yes, they all will see.
My pleasure.
I'm restless.
Ready?
Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay. That is not the Emperor's will. This is unacceptable.
One step at a time, amidst the madness. Oh, glorious spectacle of your demise!
Let the blood flow!
Death to non-believers! Your end is near!
I am your doom! I will endure!
If it serves your cause. I understand your intent. This tedium is beneath me. If it serves your cause. Ancestors, guide me! If I must.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the serfs? I am a navigator, not a servitor. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. It will be done. Victory! I took care of this one. It will be done.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! Faith without deeds is worthless. Eradicated.
Sensation! I serve the ruinous powers! And broken off will flow!
Ooh, how intriguing. Let's see. What if? A wicked thought. Let's see.
I am uncertain about it. Embrace it.
Watch my back. You've got a problem, I've got a prize. Tell me, and it is gone. Me? Never in 1,000 sectors.
Weapon at the ready.
Too bad I never leave debts unpaid.
Only to be broken.
Death to the weak!
I am not your Xenos pet, monkey. That is beneath me, if it serves your cause. This tedium is beneath me. I understand your intent. Another soul slips beyond the veil. If it serves your cause.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. If I may, as duty demands.
My soul sings in ecstasy.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Follow my lead. I will do my duty. It will be done.
Guided by faith. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. My Emperor! As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Vile delights beckon you. Oh, a wicked thought.
Chaos guides me.
Moving, no more. I am not your Xenos pet monkey. No weakness is hidden from my sight. This tedium is beneath me.
I am a navigator. I'm afraid not. That is foolishness. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
High momentum.
Indeed.
My soul sings in ecstasy.
It will be done. Victory is imminent. No matter the cost! At your beck and call.
Rejoice in battle! Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
To the brink of agony. Embrace excess. Spurn monotony. Let's see. Schemes within schemes. A wicked thought. Ecstasy.
I will avenge you.
Oh, a genius at work. Oh, a wicked thought.
Could do worse. But not by much.
Agony. I am unsatisfied.
I've suffered worse.
To the heretics!
I am not your Xenos pet, monkey. If I must. Pay with your blood in the name of Kael Amen Shakhain! I am not your Xenos pet, monkey.
Indeed. I will do my duty.
My soul sings in ecstasy.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Vile delights beckon you.
It's nothing.
Follow my lead.
My soul sings in ecstasy.
I approach the designated position. I understand your intent.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job passed down with grace, at least? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. If only that were possible.
Victory is imminent.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
To the brink of
It will be done.
agony.
Indeed.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! Blessed be the hand of the healer. I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. To be strong is a prayer.
Bueno.
Let's see. Schemes within schemes. Oh, the wrath of madness. Oh, a new note in discordant melody.
My faith strengthens me. Yeah. Stay vigilant. Never glory
My
of
ears
the
are ringing.
Imperium.
Just designate a target. If it serves your cause. If I must. If it serves your cause.
Oh.
Emperor, give me strength. Do not dare ask. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. That is foolishness. I'm afraid not. Isn't this a job for the serfs? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
I will do like you. At your beck and call. It will be done. Victory is imminent.
High momentum.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Qué buena. Cumple con tu deber. Tacho, a partir de ahora tiene esperanza para el futuro. Sus y sus seguidores. Este mundo aún necesita la purga, pero todo tiene su momento y ahora se darte las gracias y me da la cabeza después. Esperanza es buena. Esa piensa cuidado. La pena de flotar durante el próximo 6 meses. Personas y otros actos. Rezo para equivocarme. De que harás el touch, vas a los cielos a dudar entre las estrellas para buscar un camino a través de la oscuridad hacia luego el mundo supongo que encontrarnos algún día. Percibo cierto ángulo de tus palabras porque no me acompañas en mis viajes. Vendré a ver una tiradora de tu valía. De la jana adelante probablemente tengo que vigilar mis mundos. Me marcho a Harris, pero no voy a dejarme a ti y a los hermanos. Voy a acompañarte. Tal vez así pueda buscar el resto de mis hermanos que sobrevivieron a la destrucción de nuestro mundo o incluso descubrir la causa de su muerte. O hacer reflexionado para que tu buen corazón no quede demasiado por la negra ingratitud de quienes aceptan tu comitiva. Únicas consolaciones que esto se nos parece algo diferente a la condena escuria que emplea la humanidad en esta sesión de cargos. Me acuerdo en el tacho de que te montase sin temporalidades humanas sobre los senos y por tanto después de los universales espirituales de hacen todo falta muy bien.
Curiosity sings in my veins. In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
The Emperor favors me today.
And done.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Ser- Este fino panfleto rezuma un débil olor corrosivo, probablemente a tinta fresca de inscripto. La grabación se ha apoderado de todos nosotros y ya no nos podemos imaginar sin ella. Si ella es capaz de percibir hasta dónde ha llegado esta abominable peste de nuestras vidas, hizo que los más pretenciosos celebran despreciables festines protegidos por las altas murallas de sus palacios y los señores planetarios compiten por quién posee los mayores lujos entre nosotros y vuestras. Entre vosotros y vuestros familias os atragantéis con el asqueroso almidón de cadáveres después de una agotadora jornada de trabajo. Millones de soldados mueren en el terreno combatiendo la profanidad, mientras sus comandantes, descuidando sus deberes, disputan entre sí, viendo cada muerte como nada más que una piedra en el momento de su grandeza, en el momento de su grandeza. Igualmente la hacen todo malamente como una mesa de desnudos en la piel. Más y más vivientes se crean el flujo del inmaterio.
When the faithful...
What advice do you seek? I am at your service.
Patience. Oh, my nerves are frayed. They will see. Oh, yes, they all will see.
Praying before the sacred warrant has imbued me with the determination to fulfill my mission. With the support of the rogue trader, I will wrest the relic from the heretic's clutches.
Your resolve gleams with every shade of gold, sister. Your words blaze like a fire, and your faith in what you say is unshakable. I can barely behold it without squinting.
Curiosity sings in my veins. What lies beyond? There will be no peace in my wake. One step at a time, amidst the madness.
Títulos Kent, secretario tiembla de terror, sonido de devastación. Mi lady, ¿qué ha ocurrido? ¿Dónde está Lady Piat? Estaría observando bien el directo cruzado en su rostro. No parece capaz de decir palabra. Tan sabio, ha sido olvidado por la traición por traición al imperio. Los olvidos deben ser repasados y conocidos del pirata. Todavía no fallecido lógicamente a manos de perfiles traidores del imperio que se han infiltrado en su templo de confianza. Debe ser vengada. Encuentra y ejecuta a los conspiradores, haga preguntas, apostaros de su conveniencia. Reciba las instrucciones por medio de los representantes. Aparta no tengo tiempo. Oh no, herejía en Janus. Que el emperador nos guarde. Hiciera lo que hiciera la gobernadora, yo no estaba al tanto. Ahora vemos a los demás conspiradores de inmediato. Ya tal empieza a hablar, pero cuando Francia decide hacerse a un lado y agacha la cabeza dejándole pasar.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue threat. Curiosity sings in my veins. Patience. My nerves are frayed. What lies beyond? There will be no peace in my wake. In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread. They will see. Oh yes, they all will see. Curiosity sings in my veins. Patience! Oh, my nerves are frayed. One step at a time, amidst the madness. Oh, what lies beyond? There will be no peace in my wake.
Otra mujer, los horarios de la comunidad independiente quiere cumplir la promesa de llegar al señor momento comienza a hacerlo. Para venir a la comunidad independiente, la oficina planetaria de adeptos mecánicos ha enviado una ofrenda con varios combinadores versátiles de la nave. Se trata de una maquinaria antiguas cuyos restos se encontraron lejanos y fueron penosamente restauradas. Estos sagrados titanes de acero serán ahora propiedad de la dinastía de los de los días de motín.